Jonah and the Whale. It's a really fun choral piece, and taken literally, a seriously messed up story. God is Lord, sitting up on high, directing life below as a dictator would. Jonah, God says, do what I demand. I don't want to. I'm running away, Jonah says. I'll come get you. God stirs up a storm that jeopardizes Jonah and those around him. Jonah says to his shipmates, hey, I think I'm the cause of all this. Why don't you toss me out? Ready to be free of this guy, they oblige. God, not finished with Jonah, sends a fish to swallow him. Nice. Jonah, swimming around in the digestive juices of said fish, starts to think, maybe I should answer God's call. He starts saying to God, okay, you got me. God makes the whale spit him up on dry land. Jonah is safe again, for now, at least. But the message from this God of the story is clear. You want to stay safe, buddy, you better do what I say. Taken literally, this story portrays a cruel, demanding, impetuous God, a God that I think would not be worthy of being followed, not by choice anyway. A God whose word, if I were Jonah, I wouldn't want to preach either. And so I don't. But always on the lookout for ways to mine the significance out of these old stories, I can chip away at their ancient stone for nuggets of truth. I can interpret this story to reflect my own experience or the experiences others have had. I can hear and ponder its metaphorical truth, the truth that resonates because we have lived it. As Joseph Campbell has said, I don't have to have faith, I have experience. When I look at the Jonah story as metaphor through the eyes of my own experience, I know that I too have been in the belly of the whale. That's for sure. My belly time has come when I have resisted pursuing the possible in exchange for the safety of self-imposed limitation. My belly time has come when I have chosen to submit to my cynicism, to my apathy, to my denial of the opportunities my life offers. My belly time has come when I have run away too soon, when I have refused to take a risk to know and to be known when it could have really mattered, when I was so certain of being unworthy that I didn't reach out to others or accept the hands that were being offered to me, when I didn't allow myself to contribute to the common good, so sure I was that the common good is a lost cause or that my little efforts wouldn't matter. This belly time for me has been gloomy and lonely, filled with the echoes of my cries that life is meaningless and so am I. It's a dark place in the belly of that whale. Do you know it too? For those of you who do, you know it's not easy to escape. My belly time has also come from when I have been perhaps too bold in my acceptance of what I have believed was a calling, when I have gone triumphantly into the water, invited the big fish to come and swallow me because I blindly thought that's where I was being led, when I have forgotten my commitments to those around me, so assured I have been in my own truth, when I have been so focused on my own well-being that I have ignored the well-being of those I love or those I could have loved were I not being so self-obsessed, when I have been too eager to chart my own righteous course, to accomplish a task, to earn an achievement, to be impressive with what I am doing rather than with who I am being. When I have betrayed or denied the divinity I do believe in, the divinity that is created through our compassionate, open-hearted relationships to each other and to the world. I'm not talking about a divinity, a God, if you will, who only acts upon us. I'm talking about the divinity that we bring about through the way that we live. The divinity that is present in the moments when we realize with joy and relief and reawakened responsibility that we are, as Dennis sang, beads on one string. Or as Reverend Dr. King put it, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. In the belly of the whale, where I have landed, when I have denied my place on the string, my potential role in bringing this divinity into being, it has also been dark and not easy to escape. Do you know this place too? So I don't want to totally dismiss the Jonah story, despite my qualms about it, because my experience tells me it does contain some truth, mythical truth anyway. Now, I don't name its mythical truth without recognizing that doing so is offensive to those with more literal interpretations of Bible stories. As Joseph Campbell reminds us, myth is what we call other people's religion. Still, in this month of thinking about what it means to live a life of character, on the Sunday before we honor a man who famously dreamed about the day his children, and in turn all of our children, would be judged not by surface-level distinctions, but by the content of their character, the Jonah story, taken as myth, raises some intriguing questions. What is the content of our character that will lead us into the metaphorical belly of the whale? And what is the content of our character that gets us out? It seems to me, both in the literal interpretation of the Jonah story and in the metaphorical truth it presents, that at least some of us have lived and know. The belly of the whale becomes our destination when we refuse to take into account the reality in which we are living, the reality that could be impacted by our participation. When we become too caught up in ourselves or in refusing to interact with the world, not as we think it should be, but as it is. The world as it is, wretched and magnificent. Jonah refuses to heed the call of his God, that which is most important. He chooses to ignore the possible, even when it is clear that his God, that which is most important, is bearing down, and his refusal impacts those around him. He would rather be thrown to a choppy sea than give himself to that possibility. And before long, he ends up being trapped in his fearful avoidance anyway. That which he refused and ignored literally swallows him whole, cuts him off from everything that matters. What gets him out? He stops refusing and ignoring. He opens to what's possible. The story says he prayed. If so, perhaps he prayed a prayer similar to that which UU minister Marilyn Sewell says she offers each morning. God, she says, I'm available. What's next? Maybe God doesn't work for you. So maybe you could say creative spirit or spirit of life, that which is greater than all but present in each, divine mystery, evolutionary process, human possibility in action, great emptiness, interdependent web. I'm available. What's next? Going back to this morning's reading, I think we hear similar themes. Hospice worker Kathleen Taylor shares that in her experience, the end-of-life process invites those dying into greater authenticity than they perhaps have ever known. A greater ability to say with honest intention, unencumbered expectation, I'm available. What's next? For the dying, the remaining possibilities still present even amidst the finite nature of life become abundantly clear. The opportunity each moment truly offers awakens in their understanding, and their priorities shift to how they can repair broken relationships, how they can be more present to those they love, how they can fulfill the commitments that are most important to them in the time they still have left, how they can focus less on what they are doing and more on who they are being. It is their full awakening to the very belly time of their dying that can actually bring them back to dry land, to a brighter place where they will live their remaining days. Their character, then, you could say, becomes grounded in a newfound, or is it rediscovered, commitment to a kind of prayer similar to Marilyn Sewell's, whether they believe in God or not. That which is most important, they seem to say, I'm available. What's next? Taylor explains her work with the dying has taught her something essential. She says, it is never too late to shed what's false and become who we truly are, and it's never too soon either. Some of us may think her call to authenticity, to being who we truly are, is maybe a bit too easy or dreamy, maybe even dangerous. What if a person is authentically drawn to being a total jerk? How would that kind of commitment to authenticity bring health and joy to the world? To which I answer, being authentic in a vacuum does little for anyone. Being authentic in the belly is not difficult, after all. That kind of commitment to being authentically ourselves without acknowledgement of the impact our choices have will keep us there in that belly. However, when we are ready, we can offer the authenticity that is perhaps most needed, that could be most healing, that could put us back on dry land. The authenticity that says with honesty and with open-hearted understanding, our participation in this world matters. The authenticity that says, I'm available. What's next? Edward Everett Hale, a Unitarian minister at the turn of the 20th century, put it well when he said, I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. When we refuse to be available to what's next, when we refuse to do the something that we can do, we deny our place on the string. We deny that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. And I'm thinking we can expect some belly time in return. And once in the belly, it is only the content of our character that is both authentic and open to revelation, our character that is willing to say, I'm available, what's next, our character that can accept the help that awaits us and the possibilities before us, both for ourselves and for this planet we share, that can get us out of the belly and back to the freedom land. The freedom land. The freedom land that has been waiting for us all along.